Alright Long, today we'll go over how to communicate bearing, distances, speed, and other key navigation details clearly and correctly. There are some things to watch out for when communicating positions and directions, so let's get started. Duok Roy Long Hom Ne Chung to say on Lai Kach Jiao Tip Va Puang Vi Quan Kach Tok Dova Kak Thong So Dio Huang Quan Trong Kak Mot Kach Ro Rang Va Chinzak Komot So Dio Kan Chui Ki Jiao Tip Ve Vi Tri Va Huang Di Ve Chung Tabat Dao Thoi. Got it, Captain. So, what's the first thing we need to know when talking about bearing? Hu Roy Thuyen Truong. Ve Dieu Dao Tien Chung Takan Biet Ki Noi Ve Puang Vilaji? Good question, Long. Bearing is the direction to an object or another ship, measured in degrees from 0 to 360, starting from true north, unless stated otherwise. For example, the pilot boat has a bearing of 215 degrees from your position. Cao Hoi Hai Long, Puang Vi La Huang Den Mot Muk Tio Hoak Tau Kak, Du Bang Du Tu Zero Den 360 Du, Tin Tu Huang Bak That, True Ki Kochi Din Kak, Vidu Shuang Hoa Chu Ko Puang Vi 215 Do Tu Cho An. Ah, so the bearing is always from the ship, right? But what if we're talking about a relative bearing from a specific part of the ship? A Ve Puang Vi Luan Duok Tin Tu Tao Pai Kong, Nung Niu Chung Tanoi Ve Puang Vi Tuang Doi Tu Mot Pan Ku The Qua Tao Di Sao? Great point, Long. That's where relative bearing comes in. It's measured from the ship's bow. You can say, for example, the buoy is 030 degrees relative to the port bow. This means the buoy is located 30 degrees to the left of the ship's front. Dieu ne rat dung long, du la luk puang vi tuang doi kovaitro, puang vi ne duok do tu mui tau, banko the noi, vidu pau 030 do mui man trai, dieu ne kongia la fao namo 30 do vefia ben tre qua mui tau. Okay, that makes sense. So bearing is always from 0 to 360 degrees from true north, and relative bearing is from the ship's bow. Got it. But what about distance? Hiroi, thuyen truong. Ve puang vi luan tin tu 0 den 360 do tu hong bak that, va puang vi tuang doi la tu mui tau. Hiroi. Vekon Koang Kach Di Sao. Great follow-up, Long. Distance is measured in nautical miles or tenths of a mile. Always mention the unit. For example, you might say the vessel is 5 nautical miles away, or the landmark is 2.5 miles away. Cao Hoi Tot Long. Koang Kach Duok Do Bang Hai Lai Hoak Fan Mui Kwamot Hai Li. Luan Luan Pai Nhak Den Don Vi. Vi Du, Ban Ko the Noi Tau Dang Kach 5 Hai Li, Hok Dao Hu Kach 2.5 Hai Li. Got it. So, distance is in nautical miles and you need to say the unit every time. What about speed? Huroa, Ve Quang Kach La Hai Li, Baban Pai Noi Ro Don Vi Moi Lan, Contact Do Di Sao? Ah, speed is straightforward, it's measured in knots or KTs. When talking about speed, you should mention whether it's speed through the water or absolute speed. For example, the ship is going at 15 knots for speed through the water, or the absolute speed is 12 knots. A. Tak Du Di Don Jian Toi, No Duok Du Bang No, Kates, Kinoiva Takdo, Ban Ne Noi Rola Takdo Savoy Nuak Hai Takdo Tu Yet Doi. Vida Tao Dang Devoy Takdo Mui Lam Nola Takdo Savoy Nuak, Hok Takdo Tu Yet Doi La Moi Hai No. Got it. So it's important to clarify whether the speed is relative to the water or the seabed. What about time? How do we report time? Hurua. Ve Quan Trong La Phai Lam Ro Takdo Savoy Nuak Hai Dai Bien. Kun Thoi Jian the Sao, Chung Tabao Kao Thoi Jian Nu the Now. When reporting time, we always use UTC, which is Universal Time Coordinated, and the 24-hour format. But if you're in port and using local time, make sure to specify that it's local time. For example, the current time is 1300 UTC, or the time is 1600 local. Ki Bao Kao Twai Jian Chung Taluan Sudung UTC Geo Poi Hop Kwak Te, Theo Din Dang Hai Mui Bon Geo, Nung Nu Ban Dang Okang Va Sudung Geo Dia Puang, He Chak Chan Noi Rola Geo Dia Puang. Vidu Thoi Jian Hien Tai La Moi Batram UTC Hoach Thoi Jian La Moi Sautram Geo Dia Puang. Understood. So we use UTC for global consistency, but in port we mention local time. That's clear now. Lastly, Captain, how do we deal with terms that could be confusing like may, might, or should? Hiroi. Vei Chung Ta Sudung, UTC de Dam Bao Tin Dong Nat Tuan Kao, Nung Trong Kang, Chung Ta Se Noi Ro Geo Dia Puang. Kai Ne Ro Rang Roi. Koi Kung Thuyen Truong Chung Ta Shulin Hung Tu De Gai Nam La Nu May Might Hok Should Nu The Now. Ah, that's an important one, Long. You must avoid words like may, might, should, and could in certain situations because they create ambiguity. Instead, use clear, direct phrases. For example, don't say, may I enter the fairway, say question, do I have permission to enter the fairway? And when responding, you should say, answer, you have permission to enter the fairway. A du la mot diem quan trong long, ban pai tron dung kak tu nu may might, shudva kud trong mot so tin huang vi chung tao rasu mo ho. They vào do, hey su dung kak kao ro rong va truk tip, vidu dung noi may I enter the fairway, ma hai noi kao hoi, toi ko duok pep vào luong tao kong, va ki traloi ban nen noi traloi, ban duok pep vào luong tao. Ah, so always be clear and direct, especially with questions or permissions. That makes sense. Thanks, Captain. Ave la luon pyro rang va truk tip, dak biet lucky hoi hey shin fep. Do you need to hear Roy? Cam on Thuyen Truong? You're welcome, Long. Keep practicing these rules. Clear communication keeps everyone safe on board and on the water. Now let's get back to work. Smooth sailing ahead. Kong Kogi Dao Long. Hey Tip Tuk Luyen Tap Nung Ki Tak Ne. Jiao Tipro Rang Seju and Tuan Chotat Kamoin Goi Tren Talva Tren Bien. Gio Di Trolai Kong Viek Thoi. Han Trin Thuan Buom Shui Gio Ne.